those who have the youth have the future. So come on now, children of the beast, be strong and hang your head. Shout, 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 shout at the devil. That's a beast. Thunder, that's a beast. Thunder. I don't know why. I don't know why. We like 'em dead, kid.
Tiptoe through the window, that is where all becomes.
Back today with what I think is kind of an exciting new little segment called A Metal Moment in Time. And today, to start it off, we're going to talk about, or I'm going to talk about, I guess, and you're going to listen about, a moment I have spoken about before on the channel multiple times, the battle that no band should be engaging in, but they all seem to, band versus band sniping and talking trash. I got this from eBay about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. Hit Parader, September 1984. This cost $1.95 at the time. American Metal Championship. Motley Crue versus Quiet Riot. Two bands who neither are really metal anyway. But on Shout at the Devil, Motley was pretty metal. So, okay. This issue also had an articles on Van Halen, Ozzy Osbourne, Def Leppard, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Crocus, Dio, and Ted Nugent, plus words to the latest hit songs. Okay. Oh, and then a Scorpion centerfold. That's close, mine. Okay, and here you had a nice Def Leppard ad on the back with my favorite 3 Def Leppard albums anyway. Oh, yeah, this is when, by unprecedented popular demand, Polygram Records presents the new High and Dry, which I have a copy of on vinyl, by the way. It was basically the same High and Dry plus a totally new remixed version of Bringing on the Heartbreak, in which they added keyboards, just like weird sound keyboards here and there. And also the previously unreleased track, Me and My Wine, which the Me and My Wine thing is pretty cool to hear. I'm glad that's on there. All right, so anyway, I've talked time and time again about how I really liked Motley Crue and I really liked Quiet Riot. And then I read some article where Kevin Dubrow was just bad-mouthing Motley Crue the whole time. And I'm like, hey, dude, you need to watch that shit and get yourself in check. Because he just kept doing it. Like, this is probably one of the first times I read one of those interviews that Dubrow did. But then he did it again and again and again. And every time I would read it, I would get a little bit madder because I'm like, hey now, don't be talking shit about my Motley Crue. And I could say the same to a lot of you people too right now, probably, because that seems to be the in thing right now. Let's just trash Motley Crue. Fuck Motley Crue. Motley Crue sucks. Nikki Sixx can't play his bass. He's never played a bass line ever. Nikki has never touched the strings on that bass with a pick. Yeah, okay. Sorry about you. All right. Anyway, so no wasting time here. American Metal Championship. Quiet Riot versus Motley Crue. They're the hottest bands in the USA. Who's better? Hey, Alex Lifeson. All right. So I'm just going to kind of read through this real quick for you. And this is page 31 for those who want to read along. By the way, I used to have a couple of big, like old TV boxes when TVs came in boxes, and like a square kind of cube box. And I had two of them that were packed with these magazines. Now, they admittedly were kind of torn to shreds because those were the magazines I had cut my wallpaper out of in my bedroom when I was a teenager, and like just those centerfolds and pictures, yeah, Steve Harris pictures, stuff like that. But so anyway, I finally just got rid of them. I was like, man, what am I holding on to these for? It's not like I'm ever going to have a YouTube channel and want to talk about old heavy metal magazines or anything, right? Well, here I am. But anyway, so I found this on eBay and I was like, okay. Now I had to pay $20 for it. I'm not bragging there. That's what, like 1,000% inflation? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Okay, so anyway, let's get to it here, shall we? All right. By Don Mueller. Well, Don, I'm going to have a drink of beer before I read your typing. Oh, well done, youngling. Every time I drink this beer, I feel like a Jedi. A hard rock Jedi. That's good shit. Okay, so anyway, heavy metal has always been thought of as a distinctly British form of musical expression. After all, the true giants of metalldom, from Led Zeppelin to Deep Purple to Def Leppard and Iron Maiden, have always seemed to brandish their English heritage as proudly as their guitars. Now, however, there's a new movement afoot, a movement that seems destined to make the United States of America the new home of metal's masters. With the emergence of a slew of hot young contenders like Rat, Dokken, Twisted Sister, Great White, and Queensryche, it seems that the golden era of American heavy metal has just begun. All right, nice picture of Vince Neil that I definitely used to have on my wall. And would again, right now, I have spaces. If I didn't have to pay $20 freaking dollars for this magazine, that's what, like 41 years old. All right, anyway, did you see that? I can do math. Mom was wrong. All right. While this plethora of fresh talent has focused the eyes of the rock world on American shores, it has been the work of two bands in particular that has turned the American metal resurgence from a cult movement into a full-fledged phenomenon. Ooh, big word. Those two groups are Quiet Riot and Motley Crue, who, despite radically divergent lifestyles and musical approaches, have both rocketed to the top of the charts, proving that homegrown heavy metal is now the best in the world. We're proud to be an American band, the Crue's Nikki Sixx stated bluntly. We're a product of American culture, TV, Jack Daniels, and California girls, and our music reflects that. Gosh, it's so nice to be reminded of how fresh and exciting things were in 1984, and we had to worry about nuclear war every fucking day of our lives, but at least there wasn't any stress, Not like today, where the nuclear war comes from within your own country. But I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying, chill out, people. Put on a freaking album. Rock out. And our music reflects that. We keep everything moving along at about the same rate as a television show. Every 3 minutes, it's time to take a break for a commercial. Our attention spans aren't long enough to do anything more complicated than that, Nikki said. We had good teachers, he added. We were always into bands like Aerosmith and Kiss who were able to play good, succinct rock and roll songs and not get too bogged down in excess. We've always preferred the American hard rock bands because they seemed to share the same interests we did. They sang about things we could relate to. That's the same thing Motley Crue tries to do. Six's attitudes are in sharp contrast to those of Quiet Riot vocalist Kevin Dubrow. He admitted that during his formative years, English rock bands were his obsession. Man, for me, groups like Zeppelin were it. They were the ultimate. They used to tease you and make you wait so long for new product. Something about the fact that they were English added a special touch to it. Now my opinions are quite different, Dubrow added. I can't stand most of the newer British bands. They come over here and act like arrogant jerks. They think that just because they're English, they have the right to put down America and American musicians. Well, I have something to tell them. There's not one of them who could carry our amp cases. They ought to forget about their damn images and start worrying about playing some rock and roll. Ironically, Dubrow also has little use for the new crop of American metal merchants, especially Motley Crue. His harsh words about the current stateside hard rock scene reflect the years of frustration Quiet Riot felt when they were relegated to playing the Los Angeles club circuit while bands of lesser talent were being gobbled up by major record companies. I'm sick when I see what's happening today, Kevin stated with typical candor. There are bands getting signed now that really have no reason to make a record. A lot of them are just pretty boy posers, and a lot of the others are just jumping on the metal bandwagon because of our success. Let's face it, there's no way Motley Crue would have gotten the push they got from their record company if we hadn't sold 4 million records and showed everyone that a heavy metal band could still reach the top of the charts. Okay, now, in all honesty, no heavy metal band had ever reached the top of the charts before Metal Health went to number one. According to every statistic and article I've seen now, all the way from then until 2025. But even more to the point, is Quiet Riot really a metal band? Shout at the Devil was a metal album. I'll give you that one. But Motley's not a metal band. And neither is Quiet Riot. It's just really good hard rock. That's exactly what it is. I don't care if the album was called Metal Health. It's still hard rock, you know? Anyway, I digress. Obviously, there's no love lost between Quiet Riot and Motley Crue. And at this point, I'm sitting in my bedroom in 1984 and I'm reading this, and I've just turned 14 probably a few months before, and I'm like, what? Quiet Riot doesn't like Motley Crue? That can't be. I don't understand. While Six acknowledged that Quiet Riot's success helped open the doors for the hard rock bands hard rock bands, there it is. In terms of radio airplay and MTV exposure, he expressed some very pointed opinions about Mr. Dubrow and company. Those guys were playing the clubs when we were still in diapers, Nikki hissed. Christ, it took them forever to get a break. The only reason they finally got signed is because Dubrow remembered to wear his hairpiece that day. Let's face it, they're not doing anything very original or exciting. They had to use a 10-year-old song to get any attention. That's rather sad. Okay, now a little editorial critique of Nikki's statement there. Nikki auditioned to be the bassist in Quiet Riot and didn't get the job. That was when Randy was still in the band. You can hear all about it on that Randy Rhoads documentary that came out a couple of years ago or whatever. They talk about it in pretty good detail. Like Nikki showed up, Randy and Nikki were friends. Randy said, "Yeah, come on down. We're looking for a bass player." And so Nikki showed up to audition, and they were like, he didn't even know how to tune the bass, let alone play it. Which, I mean, okay, whatever. I'm not slamming Nikki here. I'm not slamming them for not giving him the job. I'm just saying, uh, it's so funny to me. I didn't know that until I saw the Randy Rhoads documentary like a year ago or whatever. Like nobody ever talked about it for some reason. Well, he auditioned for our band and he sucked, so we kicked him out of the audition, and hired Rudy Sarzo back. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, clear all that up, right? Okay. One of the reasons for the disdain the Crew and Quiet Riot show for one another stems from their widely differing musical personas. While crew members Six, Neil, Lee, and Mars dress in leather and makeup, projecting a menacing bikers in hell image, the boys in QR have taken a far more sedate, if no less exciting, path to the top. Gosh, we just want to wear striped spandex and polka dot shirts. No, it doesn't really say that. Um, their boy next door good looks and striped stage attire. I mean, they look like. Well, first of all, I think Kevin Dubrow is Cold Miser. Isn't that what his name? Heat Miser, Cold Miser from the Santa Claus thing. Yeah. But anyway, but yeah, like it's like they're in a workout video. They're like, let's get physical, physical. I don't know. Okay. Their boy next door good looks and striped stage attire have attracted a wider audience than the Cruise and allowed Quiet Riot to reach a demographic grouping not usually turned on by heavy metal bands. A fact supported by the success of their latest LP, Condition Critical. Uh, huh? What success? I mean, I liked it. My friend Eric liked it. Don't remember hearing too many other people going, man, I can't wait to go spend money on that Condition Critical. But I like it. I think it's better than Mental Health, except it didn't have the big songs. Well, I think it's better than Mental Health overall, like first song to last song. Because side two of Mental Health kind of sucks, right? Just really sort of like, I don't like, oh my God, let's get crazy drives me nuts. Anyway, quote, we've never tried to copy any other group as far as our sound or appearance goes, Dubrow explained. Our look has come from spending years playing clubs and arenas and working out with Olivia Newton-John. Oh, he didn't say that, did he? We were never into the leather look. That's rather contrived and artificial in my book, because like everybody wants to wear striped spandex around in their everyday life, of course. I'd so rather wear 3 sizes too small spandex pants with polka dots on them than put on a pair of leathers. Yeah, that's clearly the key to success. We just want to project the image of a rock and roll band, and we let the music do most of our talking. We like to think of ourselves as the hard rock Beatles. I'm not comparing us in terms of talent, but more in terms of being able to attract a very wide audience. The guys like us, the girls like us, your grandma likes us. He didn't say that. There's something in Quiet Riot for everybody. Oh. Six, true to his character, finds most bands, including Quiet Riot, to be, quote, a joke. They dress and act one way on stage, then as soon as they come off, they look like they're ready for cookies and warm milk, end quote. Motley Crue, on the other hand, revel in their bad boy image, dressing in leather at all times and carrying on like raving lunatics, whether they're on stage or in the hotel bar. We are a motley crew and we're proud of it, Six said with a fierce gleam in his dark eyes. Hell, we don't even wash the stuff we wear on stage. The pants I'm wearing now are so old there's a big hole worn in the crotch. That's what rock and roll is all about to us. We don't believe in putting on an image at any time. The people you see on stage are the people we are all the time. That's something that a lot of other bands can't say. We don't try to be outrageous. We just are. In fact, one of the crew's more outrageous ploys, using the demonic pentagram as their band emblem, has gotten them embroiled in a satanic debate which Quiet Riot has been only too happy to avoid. That's one of the things that really has me annoyed, Dubrow stated. What does all this devil crap have to do with rock and roll? I mean, groups like Black Sabbath expressed all that I needed to be said on the subject 10 years ago. I can't understand what those groups who write music about the devil are trying to do. Are they trying to show everyone how tough they are? I always say that men who have to prove how tough they are really can't be that tough. I just can't see what playing rock and roll and having a good time has to do with promoting the devil. Okay. So much you could say about that paragraph. I'm not going to bother. Admittedly, the Satan issue has become an unwelcome annoyance to Six and the rest of the crew. While Nicky dismisses the band's use of the pentagram as just, quote, a symbol that makes people remember us, end quote, there's no question that the band may be pandering to the more prurient interests of some rock's prurient. I don't know that word. That's funny. I've never seen that word before. I don't know what that is. The bottom line is that we have no interest in Satan, Six claimed. A lot of people looked at the pentagram and the title of the last album, Shout at the Devil, and said, hey, these guys are satanic. What a crock. We were telling people to shout at authority, not Satan. We're saying that anyone who keeps you down, whether it's your parents, your teachers, your boss, your girlfriend you got in 1984 while you're reading this magazine, probably, I don't remember who that was. They're the devil. They're the ones you got to stand up and shout at. Yeah, give me a beer. Oh, that's better. Another reason for the crew's outrageous attitudes and appearance is that they needed to make a mark for themselves on the overcrowded Los Angeles heavy metal scene, a scene that also produced Quiet Riot. One may wonder why LA, long noted as the home of laid-back music, has emerged as the spawning ground for America's new metal merchants. God, I hate that term, metal merchants. Every article, I guarantee you, every article in this magazine says that somewhere, metal merchants. Oh, for God's sake, it got so old and they just kept pounding it into the ground. Anyway, sorry. Very sensitive today. Haven't had enough beer yet, apparently. Both Six and Dubrow think they have the answer. LA is a very trendy town, Nicky said. Once something starts to happen, you can count on 1 million people trying to cash in on what's hot. When metal started to happen a few years back, every band that had an amp started to grow their hair and play that way. That's why there are so many new metal bands around. A lot of them were playing new wave music last year and power pop the year before. I wonder what they'll be playing next year. Back in the mid 70s, there were really only two bands in LA playing hard rock, Dubrow explained. Those groups were Quiet Riot and Van Halen. Van Halen's success should have started a whole metal surge in the area, but instead of coming back and signing us like they should have, the record companies came back to LA and signed the Knack. So instead of a metal movement, we got a pop movement which fizzled out before it really got started. Thanks to Quiet Riot, however, this time the doors have burst open and a lot of bands are playing metal and getting signed, he continued. I'm not saying that most of them deserve to get signed, but they have us to thank for it. Hopefully, we can get the real bands separated from the posers in a hurry so that good old American hard rock can stay healthy for a long time to come. The end. Here's a nice big picture of Rudy. Oh, Rudy, I'm too good looking for this planet, Sarzo, and Nikki, fuck you, 6. All right, so that's our article. Before I end, I was looking through the, what is it, letters to the editor or something like that. Yeah, we read your mail. And I saw a couple of things here that were pretty interesting. And we'll put you more firmly in touch with the time in which this magazine came out. Oh, you stupid creeps. You don't judge a group by their appearance, but by the quality and content of their music. All you nerds out there who hate Culture Club just because of the way Boy George looks shouldn't deserve to have an opinion. Yikes. I appreciate Culture Club's music, but I don't have Boy George all over the room, just good old Stevie Nicks who hangs right over my bed. Tony Yee, Annandale, Virginia. Nice, Tony. Nice. That's got nothing to do with what I was just talking about, but I just had to read it. All right, so anyway. When are you going to get with it and run a photo of the best guitarist in the world, Pete Willis? Awesome. Hey, dudes, I thought your cover story on Motley Crue was the best piece of writing I've ever read, and I have subscriptions to 10 different magazines. It really took me behind the scenes. Thanks, Hit Parader, for giving me a chance to get an inside look at the greatest band in the world, Motley Crue. All right, Brad W. in Fresno. How dare you run a story like your disgusting piece on Motley Crue? Those men, and I use the term loosely, should be locked up and the key thrown away. They're disgusting, and you're just as bad for wasting so much space on them. All right, Helen Burns, Miami, Florida. Well, you're going to be really unhappy for the next decade. Crue rules. Hit Parader rules too. The Metal Monger, Denver, Colorado. Nice. This person's really high on life right now because they just drafted John Elway last year, so we can excuse that, right? All right. Oh, heavy metal happenings. Here we go. Angus. Heavy metal happenings. Let's see. The boys in Motley Crue have never been known to mince words, and vocalist Vince Neil has taken exception to a number of other heavy metal bands currently on the scene. There are a lot of bands that are getting old and just won't admit it, the blonde belter said. Everyone who knows who I'm talking about, groups that once made great music but have had to either wimp out or rely on gimmicks to get attention. They make me sick. Now, I wonder who he was talking about when he said that. I mean, honestly, I wonder if he even said that, but if he did, who the hell was he talking about? I have no idea. Something must have happened. I don't know. Really, no idea. Okay, so at this point, Flick of the Switch had been out for a year, didn't go real well. They're talking about that. In a Kiss-related story, it seems that the band's former guitarist, Ace Frehley, has finally put together a new band and is about to enter the recording studio for the first time in 3 years. I hope he does it, Paul Stanley said. I have some songs I'd love to have him record, and I know Gene would love to give him a hand with production. Rock and roll needs Ace, and I can't wait to see what he comes up with. Aww. Isn't that great? Just imagine if Paul was that nice during the reunion. That'd be great, huh? Let's see. Oh, and this is September of '84 again, like I said. This magazine is older than Kiss Animalize. Just thought I'd throw that out there. And it says right here, Kiss have just completed work on their follow-up to Lick It Up. The new LP is called Animalize. Cool. In a Kiss-related matter, guitarist Vinnie Vincent has been replaced by new ex-slinger Mark Norton. The band remains mum about the reason for the change, but money problems seem likely. Ooh. Very astute. The reformed Deep Purple have finished recording their first album in nearly a decade and should be on the American tour trail by fall and playing in all good little boys and girls' bedrooms when Perfect Strangers comes out. Nice album. Very well done. Maiden was just getting ready to go on tour to support Power Slave. Wow. So anyway, yeah, there you go. That is September of 1984. Let me know if this is something you enjoyed seeing. If you want me to read any of those other articles about any of these other bands, I will be happy to do that. And then I got another one of these that I have big plans for. A little later on, probably. We'll get to that. And I'm wondering, I may have talked about this and shown this on one of the last videos I posted a while back. But anybody interested in hearing parts of this book? Because if you are, I'll be happy to read a handful of chapters or whatever. Do a little free advertising for Mr. Piercy. If any of you are curious and want to know whether it's worth the buy, I bought it and I haven't read it yet. So I will be more than happy to, I guess, read some of it to you if you would like to have some samplings from it. All right. And gosh, what else? I don't know. Hey, I'm putting all my music on Discogs for the first time ever. Never done that before. What an incredible pain in the ass. No, it's really fun though, actually. Once you kind of figure out what you're doing, having never done that before, I kind of had to do that. So it took a little while to get used to things, but that's really cool to just now I can, like, when I go to the record store, I don't have to be like standing there for 10 minutes going, shit, do I already have that? I think I might already have that. I don't know if I already have that, but it's possible that I might. Should I buy it and then just return it if I already have it? Or should I leave it sitting here, run home, see if it's there, and then come back tomorrow and buy it if it's not at home? And, that's been my life for 5-10 years. Now I can just pull up my phone, go to Discogs, and boom, go down the list. Oh, there it is. Don't have to buy it. All right. So anyway, lots of big stuff going on and coming up and things like that. I'm looking forward to getting back in the swing of things here. Been a rough, 6 months or whatever for trying to record videos. And going to post some more albums online on YouTube and make some more videos. And got a big change coming in the life of the channel soon. I hope it is something that goes well and you guys will enjoy, you guys and girls will enjoy. I think I'm going to. I will talk to you all later. Thanks for hanging out for a little while with your hard rock buddy Dave. I'll see you when I see you. Out.